So the first question is a two-part question, and that is, what were the biggest challenges you faced as the COVID crisis started impacting your city or your community, and how did you prioritize and address those challenges in the early phases of that crisis?
Hey, Jeff, this is Chris from Mount Vernon. I wouldn't mind chiming in here. First, welcome to everybody who is joining us today on the webinar. I'm Chris Phillips. As was stated earlier, I'm the Development Services Director out here in Mount Vernon, Washington. Our governor pretty much put things on lockdown starting on the 23rd of March, and we began really executing a plan that we had developed about a year earlier. My background, I'm a retired 30-year military person, and basically how I grew up over the years is basically, is utilizing lessons learned, briefing the mission, we execute the mission, and we debrief the mission, and we learn from that. So we began transitioning well over a year ago from console computers to laptops, for that added mobility for training and operations, the ability to work from home. We also transitioned from our permitting system to SmartGov, which again allowed us to have an agile cloud-based system and solution to what we needed versus something that was server-related and really something that was somewhat archaic. We also integrated iPhones, Androids, tablets for our inspector force that was out there doing our building inspections. We integrated electronic plan review, which is part of SmartGov with Bluebeam. So we were able to integrate all of those types of training aids. We updated a variety of things within City Hall where my department's located. With our conference room, we had state-of-the-art communication suite, we had training aids, we have a smart board, we have a variety of other items that we can use for connectivity when we're doing our pre-application meetings. This is all prior to COVID. And then, we train every Thursday or Friday for 3 hours in the system with all of our permit techs and all of the managers that we have here. There's approximately 14 folks that work with me pre-COVID that we were doing this every Thursday just to make sure that we understood the system and were able to really execute as we needed to. And then we also met with our development community once a month to sit down with them just on nuances of the system and how to better, how they could better utilize the system. So again, we were working well there. Now after March 24th, a huge difference, dichotomy there. We had the majority of our folks working from home, which again was fairly seamless because we had practiced it earlier. But there were some things that we needed to integrate and integrate very quickly. One was taking our pre-app meetings that were done in person. We created a FTP site for exchanging information between clients in the pre-SmartGov, before putting anything into the system. Pre-application meetings we conducted via Zoom, which worked out perfectly fine as well. We had a Zoom account before, so this was just really educating our developers and some of our other community partners how to utilize it. Permit submittals, obviously used through SmartGov, and we really utilize SmartGov to its nth degree. If you just log on to our portal and go down to the very bottom there for the documents, everything is integrated between our city website, the portal, all the information you need for electronic submittals, the reasons why you need those submittals, and then we do a training session once a month that we've been doing since basically mid-March of 2019 with our community partners. So they were fairly well versed with what was going on. Electronic bill pay, again, another part of SmartGov, has been awesome. We've transitioned over probably about a year and a half ago, and over 98% of our payments are via the portal. As of today, it's 100%. But just to kind of give you an idea, we did about $250,000 worth of permit revenue in the month of March. The month of April, after the shutdown, you would imagine we got hit pretty hard. We were down to about 14,000. This month, we had a restart for our group by the governor on April 23rd, and what we found out there is we've done over $225,000 so far this month. So we've really seen, like some of the folks out there have talked about in the poll, it wasn't a U or an extended U rebound. It was a V. I mean, we're seeing a significant amount of activity as it relates to what's being allowed out there to be done. And then another thing we integrated were inspections via Skype. We thought that putting our inspectors basically in harm's way by going into someone else's home, that wasn't really a smart idea to do. Our building official had some expertise in this area. We beta tested it within an hour or two out in the field, and the next thing you know, we came up with the protocols that we needed, and then we started instituting that. Lastly, I just want to say that City Hall is still closed today to the public. The workforce that I have is pretty much on a hybrid work schedule. Some come to City Hall, some work from home. We try to stagger schedules as it relates to that, just to make sure that, again, to our customers, it's seamless, that we're there. We're answering emails, phone calls, and whatnot. But just what got passed last night, we've got about a $5.3 million hole in our general fund. I had the misfortune of letting 3 of our employees know that they will be laid off for the remainder of the year, most likely indefinitely, and I've got 3 more people on furlough. So, surprise this morning. That's what we're working through right now to come up with a new normal, and I'll pass it on to the rest of the crew there, Jeff.
Great, thanks, Chris, for that. Yeah, a lot of similar stories in terms of some of the challenges to the general fund, but it's good to hear that you're at least able to keep the permitting side up and running. Matt and Jay, do you have anything to add on this question?
This is Jay. Actually, he sounds like a much larger jurisdiction, so we're much smaller staffing. Really, our biggest our biggest transition was actually done back in December prior to COVID, just going from a paper system to the electronic system. So luckily, we sort of worked out all those bugs. Like Chris was saying, there's a lot of training involved in using just a different type system. Luckily, we went through all that in December. January was sort of our feeling it out for the inspectors, which again, our whole entire department is 5 people. So we're much smaller. Now, are we all essential? Yes, we are definitely essential, and luckily our state deemed us that, and our Department of Insurance, Office of the State Fire Marshal, who regulates the way we inspect, they deemed us and construction essential. So honestly, we didn't slow down at all. Didn't even have much of a ripple. So thankfully.
Yeah, that's fantastic.